Ooh. Ooh. Okay, so let me tell you a couple things. Candace Owens' podcast made #1 worldwide. And when I saw that earlier today, I about cried for her. With no promotion, no advertising, no support in reference to the monetization of it, right? And the sponsoring of it. And not to mention the systematic abuse that follows her. That's huge, huge. And I am so proud of her. And I am so proud of her team of, I think she said 4. And she inspires me so much. She does. I know that there is a bad name and a bad rap for people that run alongside conspiracy theories. I get it. I do. And like I told my girlfriend today at dinner, I said, look, I understand. But here's the thing with that. The way I see it, when you live in a world that spoon feeds you fake news, lies, and corruption, I can't imagine why they would think that there aren't going to be conspiracy theories. When they spoon feed you a false investigation, but allow you to watch an assassination, you're opening up Pandora's box at that moment for conspiracy theories. So quite frankly, at that point in the venture, you have just allowed it to transpire that way. In a world built on lies, not truth, greed, money, and power, and not true faith, and not godlike characteristics, baby, conspiracy theories are healthy. Truthfully, conspiracy theories, I think, are the only things that are going to set us free at this point in the venture. And it came to me when I was just sitting outside, because in my last video, I put the name out of my boss, Ben Edwards. And the company that I worked for was IndyLT LLC, affiliated with Newman Daily, based out of Miramar Beach, Florida. All right. And if you find yourself on the fence where you're a part of said organizations that run said operations, that you don't want your name to be affiliated or thrown out in dirty deeds like that, then clean up your act. All right. And if you want to meet me in court with some defamation and some whatever, I'm here for it. I am here for it because I'm exhausted of all the chaos, the lies, the deceit, the systematic abuse, the targeting, the gang stalking, the craziness that I get met with at every job that I work at, just so you can corroborate whatever it is you're saying. And I'm exhausted of it. Like, I'm done. Like, it gets old. So if you want to bring the heat and bring the smoke, I will as well. I don't have a team of 4. I've got me, but I've got God. And God stands on truth. And he stands on justice. And he stands on righteousness. Period. You don't antagonize and exploit a family for no reason. You don't turn a child against their mother without a conversation, without anything done inside the judicial system. Why wouldn't you? That doesn't even make sense. Now that I say that out loud, to think about the magnitude of that. And again, I've dealt with so much systematic abuse, and I know this dates to my childhood. Like, they've had a heavy pull on me. I've got a heavy hit on my list. I know I carry a lot of wisdom and knowledge, and I am who I am, and I operate the way that I operate. And I'm finally getting to a place in my walk, in my life, where I am finally adopting who God has called me to become and be. And it is very hard for me. Because I have never wanted to be someone to want to be in the public eye by any means. But like I told her, because she's like, you deserve to be compensated. It's not about compensation. Like, I don't need money. I don't need none of that. I want my life back. I want my freedom. My true freedom. All right? I want to be with who I want to be with. I want to be able to walk into a career field and not be met with corruption, deceit, back-end deals, set up plans, plot schemes, illusions, tactics, manipulation, gaslighting, fake friends. Like, I'd like to be met with those. All right. And I will get to a place in my life where I no longer have to do that. But I'm not at that place yet. I'm operating on very little resources and very little things. Like with my phone, I'm using a burner phone and I'm doing the best I can with what I've got. Is there more that I could be doing? Probably. You know, obviously there's always more you could be doing, I feel like. But I move and operate the way that I do. That's healthy for me and my peace. I do. Because it works for me. And I'm not out here trying to work for other people in reference to my peace. If I give other people my peace, they just take advantage of it. That's what I've learned. And you can't run from looking like an a-hole because you still look like an a-hole. That came to me earlier. You can't put from a fake cup. You can't pull or pour from a fake cup. You can't. Learn. Okay, I did that yesterday. But in reference to the conspiracy theories, yeah. There's going to be a lot of them riding, flying. Seeing as we have an administration that is not transparent, as they said they were going to. Seeing as we have a judicial system that is not running by the law. They're actually breaking the law in the judicial system, and I have facts of that. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. You're just going to be met with conspiracy theories. You are. And if you don't want me to call out your name, I suggest you start coming clean. Because that's only the brink of it. That's the brink of it. The targeting became aware and apparent to me when I resigned. However, the targeting has been happening to me for years. Like my ex-husband, yeah, that's Matthew Burr. All right, in my little local community. I'm out here throwing out names. And again, when I start speaking on people and I start going down these rabbit holes, because I intend to, I will be calling out the names. So if you're affiliated with a company and you choose to be affiliated with a company, like my previous employee that texted me not too long ago asking me the most outlandish questions, which I'm going to put those out there because I actually do have screenshots of those. Your name's flying with it. All right. And I'm saying this because it is what it is. I'm sorry. I've given you 2 years to do right, to do the right thing. I've given you 2 years to do the right thing, and you refuse to. And the right thing would be to choose accountability, call a truce, and let's move on. But you won't do that. You won't do that. Just like with Charlie Kirk, they won't do it. They keep manipulating, deflecting, and telling us we're in the wrong because we care for the truth and for what's right. And it's like, no, there's nothing wrong with demanding truth in reference to who truly assassinated Charlie Kirk. Because the evidence you're showing doesn't make sense. And so same thing with me. You've chosen to exploit me and turn this into this entire Truman Show and community involvement. But what facts do you have? What evidence do you have exactly? Right? And so it's like, okay, well, seeing as we've landed here, I guess I'm going to have to start taking this approach. Because I don't want to spend the next year of my life fighting for freedom without truly seeing the fruits of it. And God is giving me the green light, like, blow the whistle. The only way to seek truth now is to call it out with names. Call it out with names. Because everybody's going to start throwing all these lawsuits and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, you can't make money appear. Money can't just appear. And you can't throw everybody in jail. So what are they going to do? they've kind of put themselves in a